Hello again, Susie here with some more quarantine self-care. It's week 5, I think. So today we're gonna do some partner massage. This is for whoever you're quarantined with, whether it's your significant other, your kids, or if you're in a roommate situation and one of you is just feeling really crummy from aches and pains or stress, or if you just want to treat your loved ones with a little bit of a massage. You can obviously trade one another, and that probably makes it so much more worth it. Today, we're just going to go over some techniques you can do for somebody else on their feet or on their back. And I will also go over some modifications that you can do, considering not a lot of people have massage tables at home. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First, you're going to want to take your lotion of choice and use about a quarter size amount for each foot. After your clients are done wiggling their feet, apply the lotion, making sure to cover the entire surface of the foot you are working on. After that, you're going to take your thumbs and make small, almost wax on, wax off circular movements around the entire bottom of the foot, making sure you get the heel, the arch, and all the little crevices. Keep in mind, if you or whoever you are working on has bunions, the pads around the big toes are sensitive, so make sure you keep in communication about the pressure or if anything feels uncomfortable. That goes to be said about any massage technique or on any part of the body. So what we're doing next is working on the heel and holding the heel with one hand. I'm going to show on the opposite foot. You're going to do pulling down motions. Next, using your thumb first, you're going to make inchworm-like movements up the big toe side of your foot, going all the way from the heel and up around the big toe. Again, keeping in mind about the bunions. Then take your index finger and move it inchworm-like from your little toe across to your big toe. Do that 2 or 3 times. And again, keeping in mind of any sensitivities one may have when it comes to pressure. After that, take your thumb and strip in between each toe while holding the actual toe to create some tension, which actually helps to get in between each bone. Do a little ankle rotation, followed by some toe rotation, at which point your client will realize that they have to set a timer to check on the vegetable stew after their massage. Next, walk your palms up the foot, followed by separation of the metatarsals using the push and pull movements as if you're trying to break them apart. Then take the palms of your hands. You're going to roll the foot around in your hand, focusing on the outside parts of your foot since that can get tight too. Next, and probably my favorite technique to get done, take your fist and do a couple of movements from your toes down to your heels and repeat that a few times. Hold the back of the foot towards the toes if you need to, and then find that good trigger point that we talked about last week. That's especially found in clients with plantar fasciitis, right in the arch, and give it some good circular motions all throughout the arch and especially in that spot to try to break up some adhesions. Do a little freestyle if you will, or if you want to extend out the massage. So next, take the hand that's closest to the big toe and put it under the heel, and the hand that's by the pinky toe on top of your foot, and pull down towards your toes creating a little bit of traction as you pull. Then put your hands slightly more together and pull, still creating that traction down your foot from your ankle towards your toes. Last, I'm going to work on the Achilles tendon showing from the opposite foot, and you're going to want to pinch your Achilles tendon and pull down towards your heel. Again, pinch and pull, making sure you're getting the entire tendon, and then followed with some circles around the ankle. Please keep in mind that if you are working on a prenatal client or are pregnant yourself, do not do this move as it could induce labor, though it is very unlikely. Do a couple more finishing strokes and finish off with some feathering, almost like raindrops on their foot. I always like to end my feet sessions by doing a couple of long, slow flowing strokes on both feet at the same time, straightening out the legs and making them feel connected as one. And from here, we will get into the back. So you're going to want to take your lotion for the back. After applying your lotion to the back, remember that less is more to start with. Do a couple up and down strokes, again long flowing, and making sure to get the entire surface. From there, you can apply a little bit more lotion on each side of the back. Do a little bit of Petrissage up in the neck, which is pretty much using a C-clamp, which is hard to see in the video. And follow with that same movement all the way down the side of the back, just like you're kneading dough. Back and forth, back and forth. Do a couple more long strokes after the Petrissage. And then take your hand that corresponds with the side that you're working on and place it underneath the shoulder as if it were cupping the front of the shoulder. This will elevate your scapula and allow you to get underneath a little bit better. This is a great place where knots like to hide out, as most of you know. Do the gliding motions using more of the pads of your fingertips and up around the shoulder blade. You can do some movements with the palms of your hands as well. And then again, do those long connecting strokes. And then do the same thing on the opposite side with Petrissage and under the scapula. Take your fists on either side of the spine, making sure that you're not hitting any bony prominences, and go all the way down, starting from the neck to the low back, staying as close to the spine as you can without actually being on it. If your client doesn't have a boundary, as we call it, you can go down to the hip bone, especially if they have hip and low back pain. Repeat as many times as necessary, and then taking open palms and grasping the sides of your client, pull up into a nice gliding stroke. Next, we're going to do some zigzag movement, again on either side of the spine, making sure to stay as close to the spine without being directly onto it, and down along your low back right above your hip bone. This can help to break up adhesions and scar tissue, but most important, it is relaxing. Next, we're going to do a movement that is, if you were giving somebody, well, I don't know what the politically correct term for it is these days, but an Indian rug burn and a ringing movement from the low back up to the neck and around the shoulders. Couple more long strokes down the back. And then you're going to rest at the nape of the neck for a good, minute or two. And slightly take the pads of your fingers and rock them back and forth one hand at a time. So you're really getting into those suboccipital muscles. Do a nice scalp rub if they want. Another few long, flowing, and relaxing movements to bring everything together. Do some light tapping or feathering, almost like a tickling. Then tap on the back and say, okay, my turn. Now, obviously, I know not everybody, in fact, most people do not have a massage table at home. So I'm going to show some modifications using a chair as well as the bed and the couch to modify these techniques in your own home. My lovely assistant today is going to be Dugan, mostly because my father hates to be on camera, but Dugan is my brother's childhood stuffed toy who now lives in our basement with the other childhood toys. I think he probably gets into the wine cellar every now and then because, look at that face. So, we'll just show you kind of how you want to stand while you're doing these techniques because you want to make sure that you're having good body mechanics and posture so you are not causing strain on your own body while you're doing this partner massage. Okay, so with a chair, you can do it two ways. You can stand behind them while they're sitting and massage. His floppy ears are getting in the way of showing you massage the neck this way, which I'm sure you've done a few times in your life. The only thing is you can't really get to the back. So another way is you can have them sit this way, kind of straddling the chair with their back open, and then you can stand this way, making sure that your back is as straight as possible while you're leaning over. A little slant is okay, but not putting a lot of strain, and then you can massage like that. If you're doing it on your spouse and you want to lift the shirt up or whatever, or on your kid at home, that's fine, or you can do it over the clothes, whatever you prefer. Obviously, what I showed you on my father was using lotion, so therefore you would need a bare back, but that is up to you. All the techniques I showed can be done over the clothes as well. Okay, so next on the bed, you want to make sure, if you are the client, that you're laying with your chin right at the edge of the bed. That way you can keep your neck straight. If that's uncomfortable for you, you can lay back a little bit more and turn your head to the side, but that does make it a little bit harder to get at your neck, plus you're also putting strain to that opposite side. So it's actually best to keep your neck in neutral. So if it is comfortable, you can just put your chin at the very edge of the bed and rest there. Don't hang off too much because then the blood's going to flow to your head and then you are putting more curve. So it's doing a little bit more harm than good. But if you can keep your head neutral and relaxed right at that edge where your chin is touching, that would be perfect. Okay, so then for whoever is giving the massage, you're going to want to stand on either side of their head, so that you're not kind of, for lack of better words, having your crotch directly in their face. So stand on one side, and then you'll do with both hands down, down, with your fists down, down. And then when you're getting ready to do the kneading techniques, you'll do kind of the same thing, go from one side to the next. So you'll stand on this side, do your kneading, whatever, up here. Don't forget to get the neck right in the nape of the neck, and there. Then switch to the other side and do your kneading on that side. Another way you can do it, if you don't want to stand, or if you have like a high bed to where your body mechanics aren't great, because again, you want to keep as straight as possible, keep everything stacked. You're not professionals. I'm not trying to teach you how to do a professional massage, but it's best to protect yourself while you're at home helping your loved ones get a little bit of relief while I can't massage you. So just do the best that you can. So again, if your bed is too high for proper body mechanics, or if it's just easier for you, you can kneel on either side again of the bed. The only difference is you would do all your techniques probably more so in an up fashion, which is also okay. And then again, knead on one side. If it's comfortable, you can lean over and get the other side. That's no problem for Dugan because he's just stuffing. But if it's more comfortable and more body mechanic friendly for your personal self, then just switch to the other side and kneel and do the same thing. Okay? Let's see. Then you can also do the feet sitting or laying on the bed. We'll just flip them for easy sakes. And, if they are face up, you can work the feet this way, like I showed you. Sit in a chair. You don't have to stand for that. It's a lot more comfortable sitting in a chair. Just make sure that you are keeping your posture as straight as possible and relaxed. Straight but relaxed. Okay, like that. So that's the bed, and I showed you the chair. So now just for S&Gs, I will show you on the couch. Okay, so on the couch, it might be a little bit more difficult to keep your neck straight, just because you don't really have the edge, and because an edge of a couch is elevated, you don't want to put that curvature in your neck. So either turn your head to the side. If you're comfortable, you can lay your head face down. Just don't suffocate yourself. And yeah, so you just want to, as the massage therapist, you're going to sit or kneel, I should say, on either side of them, and you're going to have to work one side at a time. For this purposes, they will either have to turn around, or as I said, if it is comfortable to where you can get the full other surface and it's comfortable to reach, then you can do that, but that's not the most body mechanic friendly way to do it. And if they can turn over, then it's just easier for them to turn over. So then they can flip this way and you can get their other side. If the relationship is appropriate, you can sit on their low back and kind of straddle over them and do the techniques that way, so that you are getting both sides. I'm not going to show it on Dugan, but obviously I think everybody can gather what I'm saying. And yeah, other than that, kind of make it your own. If something is more comfortable for both parties, then do that. It's really pretty simple. So that is this week's video. Hope everyone is doing well, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.